is pay-per-view week, and we here at AEW Unrestricted could not be more excited. I am Aubrey Edwards, one of your hosts, along with my best friend, Will Washington, your other host. Hey, how you doing, Will?
I'm doing great. It is pay-per-view week, and I'm so excited to be back in my home city of Los Angeles for AEW Revolution. It's always one of those fun times of the year, and I'm so pumped for this card. This card is insane. This is AEW Unrestricted. And this show, as you know, presented by our good friends at Upper Deck. Look at that. Look at that. Make sure you collect your favorite wrestlers in 2024 Upper Deck AEW and start your trading card collection today. Unwrap, autograph, memorabilia, or premium tech inserts and visit upperdeck.com to learn more.
Hell yeah.
AEW Revolution is, again, it's always such a great time. Like, genuinely, I go back and I watch the first Revolution sometimes when I'm just like, I just want to feel right now.
Dude, it's one of the greatest, right? Like, that was like right before the pandemic. You had that awesome tag match with the Bucks and Kenny and Hangman. Like, so much of John Moxley became the world champion, won the title from Jericho. Like, that show is just like quintessential. And then even then, Revolution every year is so memorable. Like last year, Sting friggin' retired.
Yeah.
Like, Revolution is important.
And you know, we're always promoting Max, but definitely, if you haven't been on Max recently, we just put up every Revolution ever in the pay-per-view archive. So definitely, if you go into AEW special events, every Revolution is up there right now. You can check them out from the very first event, as we were talking about, Aubrey getting to call the main event, and we're getting to see John Moxley become AEW World Champion for the first time, all the way to Sting's retirement and
oh my God.
that incredible Iron Man match with Bryan Danielson and MJF.
Oh, like, right. Oh, my God. Revolution has so much good stuff. And I mean, if you're not in LA this weekend at Crypto.com Arena, very few tickets remain. So if you're not going or you're planning on going, get your tickets now, AEWTix.com. You can definitely watch a traditional pay-per-view, stream it on Triller TV, YouTube. I think Dave & Buster's is actually streaming it as well. So there's many places to watch it. If you can't get there in person, there's no reason for you to not watch this show. Revolution is always super, super memorable, and it's going to be great. And we've got a ton of memorable matches that we're about to preview here. So I opened my cards ahead of time. Sorry, I cheated. You can do your cute little unboxing if you wanted to.
Oh, but, yeah. I mean, definitely check out the Allure collection if you have not gotten to check these out. They're so great. These cards are incredible.
These are legit. They're super shiny. They're fancy. They're very limited run. I pulled one of myself earlier, and I think there's only like 25 of them. And it was the first time I actually pulled myself from a deck. And I'm like, oh my God, look, I'm real.
Well, I think this is a fitting card to have pulled.
Right.
Because we can start here by talking about the AEW Women's World Champion. It's Toni Storm. Oh, we got the same one.
Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, we look at this. I love, like, Timeless Toni Storm. I love that she's back. I love that she's back. She's champion again. She's the fourth time AEW Women's World Champion.
First time we've ever seen a four-time Women's World Champion. And it's amazing.
First time we've ever had a four-time champion, right?
Yeah, Moxley four times.
Moxley.
Yes.
All right. It's good company.
Yes, it's a great company to be in. That our two world champions are four-time champions. But thinking about the fact that that Mariah May and Toni Storm are getting to do this one more time.
Yes.
And you know, the Hollywood ending. We're here. We're finally here for these two. Thinking about where it started for Toni Storm. You know, Toni Storm, of course, won her first AEW Women's World Championship. Technically, it was an interim title that was retroactively recognized as a lineal reign. But, you know, as far as Timeless Toni Storm was concerned, Timeless Toni Storm won her first AEW Women's World Championship, Full Gear 2023 in Los Angeles. And that was
oh my God, yeah, that was in LA. That was at the Kia Forum, right?
Yeah, it was at the Kia Forum.
Hell yeah.
And so for her to get to come full circle and be world champion coming back to LA, this time at Crypto.com Arena, I think it's a magical moment for that to happen for Timeless Toni Storm, for her to be back in this role, this time in the driver's seat, this time getting to defend the title against Mariah May one more time. We've seen these two. We saw them face each other at All In earlier this year, or in the middle of last year. Sorry, I forget. We've transitioned years now.
Time but we saw it.
Yes, it is. But we saw them at All In London last year. They tore the house down. Those two just killed it with each other. And we saw Mariah May walk away as the AEW Women's World Champion. She goes on this incredible run with the title, running through challenger after challenger after challenger, bringing it all the way to Grand Slam Australia, where our hometown hero, Timeless Toni Storm, took the gold back in the main event. An incredible match there. And now to see these two get to do this in a Hollywood ending. Falls count anywhere. This is going to be quite insane.
I'm really excited about this match in particular. One, because every time these two competitors face each other in the ring, it's excellent. Like, just those two matches by themselves are two of my most memorable matches I've done in my entire career. So selfishly, I'm like, oh, dude, I can't wait for the third one. But on top of that, each match has happened in the respective competitors' hometown. So here in Los Angeles, even though Tony's won a title in Los Angeles before, this is sort of equal turf for both of them. So equal turf, stakes raised, a little bit more freedom because a no disqualification, falls count anywhere. Like, who knows what could happen? This is gonna be nuts. I'm excited to see what happens in this one. But going into this, like, I know it's going to be great. It's gonna be awesome.
It is going to be incredible. And again, this could go either direction. This is, no matter what, it's the ending for these two. These two have been tied at the hip for the last 2 years. And now for Toni Storm to get to walk away, possibly as the AEW Women's World Champion, or Mariah May to finally leave her former mentor behind her. This is going to be huge for the two of them.
Yep.
And we are also, let's just go through these cards again, because let's see right here. We do have a man who, you know what? This is a very fitting card because we have Swerve Strickland here, but not just Swerve Strickland. This is Swerve Strickland at All In last year.
What?
As he was AEW World Champion.
I have another Swerve Strickland card that I pulled. Mine has a little bit more color, though. It's a cool color flow card.
Yeah, the color flow cards are great. Here he is mocking Bryan Danielson, probably moments before his own demise. But until this happened, he was AEW World Champion. And that's fitting because this next match we're discussing, Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet, a rematch from the February 5th edition of Dynamite, where those two tore it down in Atlanta, Georgia. But this time in a number one contenders match to determine who next challenges for the AEW World Championship. Swerve has, of course, been away from the title since he lost the belt at All In last year. And, you know, we've heard from Prince Nana how he's wanted Swerve to refocus his efforts on the World Championship. There goes Prince Nana there.
Prince Nana. I got a Prince Nana card.
But Ricochet, on the other hand, has also set his sights on winning AEW Championship gold. He has point blank said that was his goal in coming to AEW, and he has decided to aim straight for the top and go straight for the AEW World Championship. He did not want to give Swerve a rematch, but the offer of a world title opportunity, too hard to pass up. So here we have the rematch, Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet. This time the winner is going on to challenge for the AEW World title. And we have another factor in this entire rivalry, which is the embassy robe. Ricochet walking around with the embassy robe that Prince Nana had bestowed upon Swerve Strickland. It was a robe that we've seen for many, many years throughout Ring of Honor. It was tied directly to the embassy and whoever the crown jewel of the embassy was. And now we're at a point where Ricochet has stolen it. He has declared it his. He is walking around quite unfashionably with it. I will say last week on Dynamite,
really didn't fit with the Philadelphia Eagles hat. I'm just
with
gonna
the
say.
Eagles hat and the robe.
Ugh.
Yeah. But Ricochet is making it work. He's making it work. And he, you know, it's interesting the rise he's had since he came into AEW. He really came in with a fire under him from the beginning. He debuted in the Casino Gauntlet, which was for an opportunity at the AEW World Championship. It feels like Ricochet has always had his sights on gold in AEW. He's challenged for the international title. He has challenged for the Continental Championship as well. This time, though, this is one of his biggest opportunities, and he gets to do or he gets to have this opportunity by possibly defeating a former AEW World Champion in Swerve Strickland and go on to challenge for the title. But then Swerve Strickland, he's got the title on his brain. He's also got revenge on his brain. And also Prince Nana. Prince Nana told Swerve that if he doesn't get that robe back, he doesn't know if he can do this anymore.
Which everyone's just like, oh my God, what? What? Like, oh, man. So this match is great for a number of reasons, right? Like, you and I both have been huge fans of Ricochet and his wrestling for years. And seeing this new version of Ricochet, even though he's kind of an asshole, has been incredible. I love seeing when wrestlers truly come into their own, even if it does make them a little bit more jerks. Seeing Swerve previously carry the title for the company, even when he's not carrying the title, he is a face of AEW. He is a pillar of this company. So both of these guys being able to like be matched face to face when at one point they were both on the indies together, like this is such a great match to see everything sort of come to a head, and knowing that whoever wins this is going to compete for the championship. It's just really cool. It's great to see all of these guys in where they currently are in their careers and how they've gotten there.
I think the part that has me most excited is the fact that no matter who wins here, it is a turning of the tide for the world title picture.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, to see Ricochet possibly go up against Cope or Jon Moxley, which we'll be talking about later on, is... that's a scenario that you couldn't have written out, right? Like that's just one of those things that sounds like a fantasy a year ago. But then on the other side of that, Swerve Strickland, he's always talked about Cope as one of his mentors, and for him to get to possibly share the ring with Copeland is a big deal. And then him and Jon Moxley, they faced each other in the Continental Classic back in 2023. And that's a loss that Swerve's looking to avenge. So at the end of the day, this just opens up so many possibilities, and to know that these guys are going to change the face of the world title picture as it moves forward is going to be awesome.
It's going to be cool. I love the idea of all like 4 of those different combinations. Like that's just like, here, just take my money now. Take my money.
Yes.
Speaking of taking your money, AEW Revolution happening this Sunday, March 9th, Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. Definitely be there. Tickets are very limited. AEWTix.com. If you can't watch it live, traditional pay-per-view, stream it on Triller, on YouTube, go to a Dave & Buster's. There's so many different ways that you can watch it. Tune in. It's going to be awesome. We've got more coming up. So many more matches to cover here on AEW Unrestricted. This is AEW Unrestricted, a special AEW Revolution preview episode with Aubrey and Will. We are checking out some cool Upper Deck cards, our title sponsor for the episode, and then also using them to talk about all of the amazing matches that you're going to see this Sunday at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, AEWTix.com, Triller TV, pay-per-view, all the places. Also, just side note, putting it over, it's my birthday, so you should definitely come because that would be the greatest birthday present ever, just putting it out there. Thank guys. On top of that, I want to talk about 2 absolutely incredible competitors that are coming into this show. I want to talk about Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita. Konosuke Takeshita, the current AEW International Champion, and Kenny Omega, one of the greatest of all time to ever do it. And I am so happy, and I will say it probably until we're blue in the face, I am so happy that Kenny Omega is back. Like, yes. Knowing how sick he was and just not knowing if we were able to ever see him wrestle again, knowing that he's taking on one of the biggest up-and-coming stars of professional wrestling today in a title match at a pay-per-view. Like, this is just such a good story, independent of the wrestling aspects of it, right? Like, you have 2 guys who sort of made their name in Japan coming to the US who were just both really friggin' good at wrestling. And I'm excited to watch these 2 guys beat the crap out of each other.
Well, a big thing for Takeshita is that, he was always seen as a bit of a protege of Kenny Omega's.
He was Kenny's boy.
Yeah, he's Kenny's boy going back years. And, in 2023, Takeshita broke out on his own. Turned his back on Kenny Omega and Double or Nothing 2023. And he went on to then defeat Kenny not once, but twice in one week. Twice in the same week. Yes. Beat him at
which Don Callis always reminds us about.
He does. He is constantly reminding us that Takeshita defeated Kenny twice in 1 week, beat him at All In, beat him at All Out, and Takeshita's been on a crazy run since. And that, of course, led to Takeshita capturing the AEW International Championship. Kenny is back. He is ready to go. And those two losses have been ringing in Kenny's ears for the last year and a half. And for Kenny to get to be back on the pay-per-view stage, a pay-per-view stage he helped make famous. Like when you think about Kenny at Revolution, I think about Revolution 2020 and that awesome tag match with Hangman Page against the Young Bucks, or in 2021 main eventing against Jon Moxley, or 2023 with the trios titles up against House of Black. And yeah, and so Kenny Omega has been such a big part of what AEW Revolution has always been all about. And now to see him back at Revolution and potentially capturing singles gold, man, it's like every time he's picked up that title, when he's had run-ins with Takeshita over the last few weeks, it just looks right. It looks right seeing Kenny Omega holding gold here in AEW. And if he does it, he becomes the first man in the history of All Elite Wrestling to hold not one, not two, not three, but 4 different championships.
Wow. Out
of AEW's entire championship lore. He's been a world champion. He's been tag team. He's been trios. If he can pull off winning the international championship, that is huge. But I don't think Takeshita is anywhere near ready to be done with that belt. Takeshita has been defending it all around the world, and he has been an excellent international champion. Like when you think about the standards that belt has behind it, when you think about guys like Pac, you think about guys like Orange Cassidy, and you think about them not only defending the belt night in, night out, but taking it across the globe, making it a truly international title. Takeshita has been up there as one of the best to hold this championship. And to know that now he's going to defend it and face Kenny Omega one more time. And again, that was one of the best matches of 2023. That's the other thing too, is that we kind of brushed over match quality because there's just such a great story here. But those guys killed it at All Out.
I don't think there's any way you can brush across match quality with Kenny, because if you have Kenny in a match, you know it's going to be an excellent match. So to be fair.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. Kenny and Takeshita one more time for the AEW International Championship. And speaking of championship matches, we got to talk about one of my favorite people in All Elite Wrestling. That's right. The 4 belts Moné, the TBS champion,
the CEO.
Look, people have their feelings about Mercedes. I get it. But people are going to have opinions when you're the GOAT. And the thing is, Mercedes Moné is just that. And the good news is, whenever Mercedes is putting that title on the line, you know it's going to be something special.
Hands down.
It always is. It always has been. And this time, she's got Momo Watanabe. And the thing is, Momo, of course, won the International Cup. We talked about the International Cup when we were talking about Wrestle Dynasty a few months ago. And, of course, we had 4 representatives, 4 promotions, which was a phenomenal match. And we saw, Willow representing AEW in that. And we also saw Athena. But at the end of the day, Momo walked away with the victory. She got her opportunity to challenge for any of the other promotions titles, and she picked Mercedes Moné. She picked the TBS championship, and she is walking in as the challenger. And the thing is, Mercedes has been on quite a roll, but Mercedes has also been burning the candle at both ends. When you think about the fact that Mercedes just had a crazy killer title defense against Harley Cameron in Australia at Grand Slam. And then, she had the 2 back-to-back title defenses against Chris Statlander. Mercedes is definitely racking up the wins and the resume to be able to call herself one of the greatest TBS champions of all time, if she hasn't already done that. But the thing is, the more she does it, the harder it becomes to defend that title. And this is just one of those matches you look at, and these two have faced each other before. It was incredible. And to see it happen one more time, this time on an AEW stage.
I think one of my favorite things about bringing in talent that our audience may not be familiar with, like Momo, is that guaranteed whenever you pair them with someone at the caliber of Mercedes Moné, you know this match is going to be good. It doesn't matter. You can walk in not knowing a single thing about Momo, but you know because Mercedes always brings it, especially at pay-per-views, this match is going to be stellar. It is worth it's worth the price of the pay-per-view alone, honestly, in my opinion, because Mercedes is just that good. Like seeing how like her match with Harley, like close up in Australia was so great. Harley Cameron's like 64 matches in, I think, at this point. And it was an absolutely incredible match because Mercedes is so, so good. So it doesn't matter at all who she's facing. Like, I think, yeah, carrying around 4 belts is really, really tiring. Carrying around 4 belts and defending everything, right? And eventually that wear and tear does come to play. I don't know if that'll be, this weekend at Revolution, but I do know we're in for a stellar match.
And that's a shoot, by the way. Mercedes carries around 4 belts, like
literally.
Everywhere. Yeah, literally carries around 4 belts. Keeps them in her luggage. She takes those belts everywhere.
Like a good worker.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I'm very excited for this match. If you saw these two wrestle each other last summer in New Japan Pro Wrestling, they wrestled in actually at an arena we're famous for in Washington, D.C., the Entertainment and Sports Arena. They had that phenomenal match. They just beat the piss out of each other. And to know that these two are going to do this one more time, this time at AEW Revolution, a show that is just known for delivering the way it does. I am so excited for this match. You should be excited for this match. If you've never seen these two go at it before, that's okay. You've got an opportunity to do so on pay-per-view. That is this Sunday, March 9th, my best friend's birthday here. And that is at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. You definitely want to be there. AEWTix.com or check us out on traditional pay-per-view or stream it on Triller, YouTube, PPV.com. You do not want to miss this show. And you also don't want to miss the rest of this show because we've got more still to come here on AEW Unrestricted. We've got the main event to talk about and so much more. Join us when AEW Unrestricted continues.
Real quick.
Unrestricted.
AEW Unrestricted. It's Aubrey and Will, and we're talking about AEW Revolution, which is this Sunday, March 9th, Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. Tickets can be found at AEWTix.com. You do not want to miss this show. AEW Revolution always delivers, but this particular card feels like the best one we've ever put on, and you do not want to miss this show. I swear to you. We always deliver on pay-per-view, but this one feels exceptional. Definitely make sure you watch it on traditional pay-per-view or stream it on Triller or YouTube or PPV.com. And we've got next up on the card, again, talking about a card that is going to be quite special. I want to talk about MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He is going one-on-one with Hangman Adam Page. Oh, yep, I got that same one. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, I got this cool AEW card with Hangman, everyone's favorite botanist.
Yes. Look, Hangman and MJF have so much history. You go back to the original Double or Nothing, and you look at the original Casino Battle Royale, which saw Hangman Adam Page win it after eliminating MJF. And then later in the night, we saw Bret Hart presenting the AEW World title for the first time, the very first appearance of that belt, and he was interrupted by MJF. Jack Perry came out there, and Hangman Adam Page. And to think about the history of the Dynamite Diamond Ring and how the Dynamite Diamond Ring was originally won by MJF. Of course, he's won it every time. But it originally came down to MJF and Hangman. Those two got to face each other on Dynamite. And just, again, the history of these two. Because for that to take place when it did, and then we just paused it. It was paused. And we haven't come back to these two for 5.5 years.
Yeah.
They had a run-in with each other in late 2023. And it was right before MJF, of course, went out with his injury. But at that moment in time, it did feel like, this could happen. This could happen really soon. And then it didn't. And finally, for these two to come face to face and be trading these wars of words, this feels like one of the biggest matches AEW could possibly put on. When you look at the evolution of these two guys from 2019 to now, it feels like, you look at young MJF back then and how much he has just grown into who he is today. You look at Hangman Adam Page, that doesn't even look like the same guy.
No, he's seen some shit.
Yes, he has seen some shit. Yes, absolutely. When you look at just the way his appearance has changed, his demeanor, his attitude, everything about Hangman Adam Page is an incredibly different man than he was. But the one thing that hasn't changed is that he's still about cowboy shit, and he still does not care for MJF. And for us to get here, the real Hangman Adam Page, that's the one thing he told us, is that he is real. It's just, I've said this about the whole card, but this is just one of those matches that we always knew we'd see again one day, but for it to finally be in front of us, it just feels incredible.
I love that you mentioned that, like, seeing how both these guys have grown up, right? Like, recently, like, we had Christopher Daniels on the podcast last week and talking about seeing promos of Hangman Page back when he was like little baby Hangman, back from the Ring of Honor days. Like, we've been watching this guy grow up in front of us, and both of these guys are day one AEW, which is one of my favorite absolute parts of this, is we've seen both of these guys grow and become phenomenal wrestlers, phenomenal people. We'll just kind of look past the part where, Hangman lit some guy's house on fire. But, like, Hangman is one of the most authentic people in the world. Like, for him to, I popped so hard when he was leaving the building the other day at Dynamite and he gets into a Rivian. I was like, there's not much more like as Hangman as you can get right there. And I feel like that's part of why the AEW audience is so drawn to him. They see themselves in him. They don't have to be cowboys, or they don't have to have gardens of their own if you're a Blue Sky user. But, like, everyone kind of sees a little bit of themselves in Hangman and sees that desire to just, like, prove himself constantly against anyone else. And I think everyone, even the people that truly, like, say they like MJF, I don't think anyone actually likes MJF. I think if you say you like MJF, you're just lying to yourself and everyone else, because this guy's a dick. I'm sorry.
I think at the very least people respect MJF.
I will give you that. I respect MJF wholeheartedly.
Elsewhere on the card, you want to talk about phenomenal matches. And again, that's all we've been talking about this whole time.
Brother.
But we've seen these two men just tear each other apart over these last few months. But Kyle Fletcher has been a thorn in the side of his former best friend, Will Ospreay, pretty much since Wrestle Dream. At Wrestle Dream, he turned his back on Will Ospreay, chose to remain with the Don Callis family, and has been the centerpiece of the Don Callis family since he has been the protostar. And for him to have beaten Will Ospreay at Full Gear, and then Will Ospreay comes back and beats him at World's End, and now we get to settle the score between these two in a steel cage match.
Yes. I love that my little Upper Deck card, for those of you not watching this, new episodes go up on YouTube every Monday. But I have this AEW aerial card, which I feel is apt, because every time I see a cage, I'm like, all right, who's jumping off of this thing?
Yeah.
And you've got two flippy guys in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look,
if the match itself wasn't good enough, and I'm just like, okay, what kind of crazy stuff are we going to see in this cage?
And you want to talk about aerial? We've got the aerial assassin, like literally Will Ospreay inside a steel cage.
Literally that guy.
That just feels like for these two to hit this point of their rivalry, to have to lock it inside a steel cage, it feels like we are going to see mayhem, we are going to see a massacre, and we are going to see it between two of the best athletes AEW has on the roster. Again, I just can't say enough good things about this card, but this match in particular feels like it's been earned. It feels like we have been watching these guys go at it for the last 6 months, and for this to finally come to a head here, these former best friends, Aussie Open, I should say United Empire.
Yes.
They, of course, members of the United Empire. And to see these guys get to this point.
It's going to be good. I kind of wish I don't have this match just so I can like fully sit and like take it all in, you know?
Yeah, but I've gotten to watch you like be up close in some of the best matches I've ever seen. And there are points where I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous. Like you're just right here getting to watch this go down the way it's going
Best
down.
seat, my man.
Yes,
Oh my
you've
God.
got the best seat in the house. So like, there's a piece of me that also hopes you do get it, but at the same time, like, look,
There's so much good stuff on this card that I'm like, literally any match we've talked about, I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. I could do that one. Speaking of which, I mean, we have to talk about the match of the card, the main event. It has been building since Adam Cope returned back at Fight for the Fallen in Asheville, North Carolina. But we've got Cope versus Mox for the AEW World Championship. And I am, you got two? Ooh.
I got two.
Keep one, trade one.
Yeah, I got two. Adam Copeland. Look, and Adam Copeland has set his sights on Moxley for quite some time. He made his return. He decided Moxley was where he was going to set his sights, and that meant the AEW World Championship. Copeland not only wants to become AEW World Champion, he has talked about the fact that he wants to showcase the title again. That Moxley has kept it he's not only holding the title hostage, but he's literally keeping it from the world. You don't get to see that belt anymore. It sits in a
suitcase carried by Marina.
Yes,
Who,
it is.
By the way, even when they went to the zoo in Australia, Marina still had that suitcase. Like, she does not let that thing out of her sight.
No, that briefcase, like, that is not going anywhere. She is going to hold on to it, and she's going to make sure that Jon Moxley's property is protected. But at the same time, Cope came through on his promise. He said he was going to take out all of the Death Riders, took out Pac, took out Claudio, took out Yuta, and also he couldn't be the one to take out Marina, but luckily Willow Nightingale was there to spoil the party. And to now know that Jon Moxley is isolated, it will simply be Jon and Cope one-on-one for the first time ever.
Which is wild to me because both these guys are legends in wrestling, right? They've been around for so long. Like, Cope retired and then left for like 8 years and then still came back. How have these two guys never faced each other? Because
Cope retired a year before Jon Moxley hit the
timeline.
The time
Gotcha.
they never got to cross paths.
Ships passing in the night.
Yep, and they were ships passing, and so it literally just never got to happen. And now
aren't we so lucky? Aren't we so lucky as AEW fans?
That's what makes AEW so special. The fact that something like this could take place. It was like, you know what? Cope was probably, like, if you had told me 2 years ago, Cope was probably never going to face Jon Moxley, I would have been like, yeah, that's probably just a thing I have to accept. But now we're here that the Rated R superstar gets to take on Jon Moxley, the Death Rider himself, the AEW World Championship on the line, Crypto.com Arena. This is such a special building. Like thinking about it for me as somebody who is from Los Angeles, and I have never gotten to be backstage at Crypto before. Like, it was already cool to have been in the Kia Forum, but now to get to come to the Crypto.com Arena is just going to be such an incredible moment for AEW. And you can still get ticks at AEWTix.com. You want to be there at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. It is this Sunday, March 9th. You can watch it also on traditional pay-per-view or stream it on Triller TV and YouTube, and also on ppv.com. No matter what, you have so many options for getting this show and being a part of the show and seeing this show. You want to be there. You want to watch it. Look at this card. We didn't even have time to talk about all of the matches on the card. There's still more to talk about, but you got to watch it. AEW Revolution.
Got to watch it. There's too much to do. But like, on top of that, like, when have we not over-delivered on a pay-per-view? We say it every freaking time. I don't know how this pay-per-view can possibly top the last one, and they always do. So it's like your money could not be better spent if you either watch it with friends streaming somewhere, or if you're there definitely tune in. Remember, this podcast is sponsored by Upper Deck. Collect your favorite wrestlers in the 2024 Upper Deck AEW. Start your trading card collection today. You can get autographed memorabilia, premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com for more. You can listen to and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of your fun favorite podcast apps. You can check out the video episodes on our YouTube channel. Just search AEW Unrestricted. Hit that subscribe button and you never miss an episode. And you can see our beautiful faces and all these wonderful trading cards that we show off. They're so shiny. And are you an AEW insider? I am. You can get early access to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise, all of it straight to your inbox in an email. Sign up today. Also, AEWTix.com, which you can sign up for when you're buying those Revolution tickets. Don't forget, AEW Dynamite is on TBS Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and streaming on Max. Streaming on Max. I'm so excited for Revolution. I can't talk anymore. AEW Collision live every Saturday on TNT. ROH streams every Thursday on Honor Club. I am Aubrey Edwards along with Will Washington. Thank you so much for listening to AEW Unrestricted.